African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 18th of July, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of troops defeated the manpower and equipment of the 57th Motorized Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 125th Military Defense Brigade, and the 13th Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Lipsy, and Staritsa, Kharkov region. During the day, 2 counterattacks by units of the 92nd Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. Enemy losses amounted to up to 160 military personnel, 6 vehicles, a 155mm Bogdan self-propelled artillery mount, a 152mm D-20 gun, and 2 122mm D-30 howitzers. Units of the West Group of troops continue to occupy more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the formations of the 21st, 60th, 115th Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 1st Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Torskoy, Ivanovka, and Krasny Lyman of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 520 military personnel, an armored combat vehicle, a 122mm 2S1 Vostok self-propelled artillery mount, a 122mm D-30 howitzer, a US-made 105mm M119 gun, as well as an Enclave electronic warfare station. During the day, 6 ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of troops, during active offensive operations, improved the situation along the front line. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the 24th, 54th Mechanized, 46th Airmobile, 79th Air Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the areas of the settlements of Maximilianovka, Katarinivka, Chasov Yar, and Verkhnekamenskoye of the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 540 military personnel, 3 armored combat vehicles, and 10 vehicles. During the counter-battery fight, the following were hit: 2 155mm FH-70 howitzers made in the UK, 3 122mm D-30 howitzers, 2 105mm M119 guns made in the USA, a 105mm L119 howitzer made in the UK, a counter-battery radar station made in the UK, USA, and /TPQ-50, and 2 Enclave electronic warfare stations. 5 ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were also destroyed. Units of the Center Group of troops occupied more advantageous positions and defeated the formations of the 32nd, 110th, 151st Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Toretsk, Novoshelno, and Veseloy of the Donetsk People's Republic. They repelled 7 counterattacks by units of the 41st Mechanized and 144th Infantry Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Enemy losses amounted to up to 290 military personnel, a US-made Max Pro infantry fighting vehicle, a US-made 155mm M777 howitzer, a 122mm D-30 howitzer, and 2 100mm MT-12 Rapier anti-tank guns. Units of the Vostok Group of troops improved the tactical situation and also defeated the manpower and equipment of the 72nd Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the areas of the settlements of Ugledar and Vodyanoy of the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 120 military personnel, a tank, 4 cars, a 155mm towed howitzer FH-70 made in Great Britain, a 122mm self-propelled artillery mount 2S1 Gvozdika, and an electronic warfare station Noda. Units of the Dnieper Group of troops defeated the manpower and equipment of the 118th Infantry Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 124th, 126 terrorist defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Novodanilovka, Zaporizhzhia region, Kibyshevo, and Novotyadzinka, Kherson region. The losses of the armed forces of Ukraine amounted to up to 125 military personnel, 8 vehicles, 2 155mm M777 howitzers made in the USA, a 122mm self-propelled artillery Mount 2S1 Vostok, and an electronic warfare station Bukovely. In addition, 2 ammunition depots and a warehouse for military technical equipment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of groupings of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation hit the infrastructure of a military airfield, manpower, and military equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine in 127 districts. Air defense systems shot down a MiG-29 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force, 3 Hammer-guided bombs made in France, 6 HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems made in the USA, and 74 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. The forces of the Black Sea Fleet destroyed 10 unmanned boats in the Black Sea. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 629 aircraft, 277 helicopters, 27,783 unmanned aerial vehicles, 552 anti-aircraft missile systems, 16,608 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,379 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 12,037 field artillery guns and mortars, 23,800 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.